All right, let's jump right in. For basically all of human history, we've been trying to figure out what makes us, well, us. We've looked everywhere, to the stars, to philosophy, and of course to biology. But now, the answers are starting to pop up in a place that's almost impossibly small, and yet unbelievably complex. Our very own genetic code. And that's not just a metaphor. There is a literal biological code at the center of every one of your cells. It's written in a language with just 4 letters, A, T, C, and G. This is your genome. It's the blueprint of life. Now, for decades, just reading this code was a massive undertaking, but understanding what it all means, that was a whole different ballgame. Today, AI is becoming the key. Think of it as the universal translator that's finally letting us decode what those billions of letters are actually trying to tell us. So in this explainer, we're going to take a journey right to that new frontier. First, we'll talk about decoding the blueprint itself. Then, we'll get into how AI is our translator. From there, we'll see how this is leading from code to actual cures and creating medicine tailored just for you. We'll also have to tackle the huge topic of our most personal data. And finally, we'll look ahead to the future of healing. So first up, decoding the blueprint of life. When we say genomics, what are we really talking about? It's not just about, looking at a single gene in isolation, like the one for eye color. It's about seeing the entire system. Think of it like this. If a single gene is a word, then the genome is an entire library. Genomics is the study of that whole library, every single book, every chapter, and crucially, how they all connect to each other. A tiny typo in this gigantic text can sometimes lead to a disease, or it might just influence how we respond to our environment. And AI is what's finally letting us read this whole library at scale and start to understand those vital connections. The sheer scale of this genetic library is just staggering. When scientists first sequence a genome, they don't get a neat, organized book. Nope. They get a flood of raw data. And this is exactly where AI becomes not just helpful, but absolutely essential. We're talking billions of these base pairs in a single human genome. For a human researcher to try and manually sift through all of that to find one tiny disease-causing error, well, it'd be like trying to find one specific grain of sand on every single beach on Earth. It's impossible for us to do alone. So how does AI tackle this impossible task? It's actually a pretty straightforward process. First, it reads all that raw sequence data. Then, it does what AI does best. It scans for patterns. It compares an individual's genome against thousands, sometimes millions, of others in massive databases. And finally, it flags the important stuff, the mutations and variations that might be linked to a specific disease. It turns all that overwhelming noise into a clear signal. And let me be clear, this isn't just theory. This technology is already changing lives right now, especially for families who are navigating the incredibly confusing and often heartbreaking world of rare diseases. People in that world use the term diagnostic odyssey for a reason. Just imagine your child is sick, but no doctor can tell you why. You bounce from specialist to specialist, test after test, sometimes for years, with 0 answers. It's an absolutely exhausting and emotionally draining journey. And this is the solution. This is how that odyssey ends. An AI can take that child's genome and in a matter of minutes or hours, compare it to databases of known genetic diseases from all over the world. It can spot a single typo among 3 billion letters that might be the cause of everything. It finds that one critical clue that could have taken human doctors years to find, if they ever found it at all. For these families, a diagnosis isn't just a label. It's clarity. It's a community. It's a path forward. But it goes way beyond just diagnosis. This combination of AI and genomics is kicking off a whole new era of truly personalized medicine. So instead of a one-size-fits-all approach, treatments can now be tailored to your specific biology. And nowhere is this more of a game changer than in the fight against cancer. You see, every cancer is unique. It has its own set of genetic mutations. So instead of just treating lung cancer, doctors can now treat the specific genetic driver of your lung cancer. AI helps sequence the tumor's DNA, it identifies its weaknesses, and then, this is the magic, it matches that profile to targeted drugs that are most likely to work, and it can even help predict the side effects. It's a total revolution. And this personal approach goes way beyond cancer. I mean, have you ever wondered why the same dose of a super common medication works perfectly for one person but gives another person terrible side effects? Well, the answer is often written right there in our genes. There's a whole field for this, called pharmacogenomics. And here's basically how it works. Your genetic code dictates how quickly your body processes or metabolizes different drugs. If you have a gene variant for a fast metabolism for a certain drug, your body might just clear it out before it has a chance to do its job, making it useless. But on the flip side, if you have a slow metabolism variant, that exact same drug could build up to toxic levels. AI can analyze your genome, predict these responses, and help doctors pick the right drug and the right dose specifically for you.
Okay, so with any technology this powerful, we absolutely have to hit pause and talk about the immense responsibility that comes with it. I mean, we are talking about the most sensitive, most fundamental data that exists about a person.
This quote really says it all. Your genome doesn't just reveal things about your health, it holds clues about your ancestors, your family members, your potential future health, everything. Protecting its privacy and security is just non-negotiable. And these aren't just technical problems to be solved. They are deep societal questions that all of us need to think about. Who owns your genome? Who gets to see it? How do we stop it from being used for discrimination in, say, insurance or employment? And critically, how do we make sure the AI models are trained on diverse enough data so that their predictions are fair for everyone? If we want to build a future for genomics, we first have to build a foundation of absolute transparency and trust. But despite these huge challenges, the promise of this technology is just awe-inspiring. And maybe its greatest potential lies in shifting the entire way we think about medicine, moving away from just reacting to sickness and toward proactively preventing it. Imagine a future where, early in life, your doctor can analyze your genome and estimate your long-term risk for things like heart disease or diabetes. Now, this isn't about fortune-telling. It's about empowerment. Because if you have that knowledge, you and your doctor can take preventative action, changing your diet, getting certain screenings earlier, and making lifestyle choices to chart a much healthier course for your life. So from decoding our past to charting our future, AI and genomics are fundamentally rewriting the story of human health. And as you can see, this journey is really just beginning. The next chapter promises an even faster path to brand new cures in the years ahead. Thank you so much for watching. Knowledge Equity Partners is a multilingual channel, and we're dedicated to transforming complex, contemporary ideas into clear, actionable insights that can empower you in your work, your learning, and your everyday decisions. We really focus on practical, research-driven knowledge that helps you think more clearly, use technology wisely, and hopefully build a more meaningful and impactful life. So, if you found this content valuable, please subscribe to Knowledge Equity Partners. That way, you'll get notified about our daily videos. And of course, don't forget to like this video and share this practical knowledge with your family, friends, and your community. Let's together keep the quest for knowledge always high. And please, be sure to look out for our next episode for more information.